In this video, we're going to discuss service counter SOPs, or standard operating procedures, long form. The reality of all that we've done in this profitability workshop series comes down to how do we manage it on a daily basis? What are going to be the rules of engagement, so to speak, for the service writers? At the end of the day, we can put together the best plan of action. We can implement all the changes that we put inside the TRACS system, as you've seen in the previous videos. But if we don't have a way to oversee and lay out an understanding with the service counter, we're going to be in constant conflict with ourselves internally, our thoughts, why isn't this working? And then we're going to also struggle with the employees that are operating TRACS every day. I've learned from personal experience, from being in the industry for decades now, the beatings will continue until morale improves type of a mindset doesn't really work so well. It's doable. There are shops out there that they run a Viking ship of an operation, and that's okay. But for the most of us, the majority of us that want to talk to the service writer about what we're doing is an understanding of what is their role, what is their job when it comes to pricing profile, parts matrix, labor matrix, and how do we work in a more constructive environment. The very first thing, and it's something that we've covered in the previous material, is to go to the manager's dashboard. This manager's dashboard is going to be a weekly affair. It might even be a daily thing in the very, very beginning. And what we're doing here is we've level set the expectation of the service writers. We do not want you to change the price on anything. We do not want you to change the quantity of the hours of labor when we have a labor matrix in place. And if we provide a discount, we need to be able to track those discounts. We need to be able to have our both thumbs on the controls to make sure that we have continuity. We need to know what's going on and make changes accordingly. That doesn't mean this is as rigid as black and white and yes or no. There's always a gray ground. There's always this in between. At the top of the screen, you're going to see the slider bar for viewing angle. I can stretch it. I can move it. I can make it the width of a day, by the way, so I can just see the 17th. I have the bottom slider, which is going to be time scale. This is now going to be able to give me larger frame information. So if I extend my viewable window to include more than one little blue mountain range, in your data, by the way, there will be many. It's going to look like an oscilloscope pattern. We're going to sit down with the service writers and talk to them about overridden work orders in these two capacities: existing price and existing quantity. Price means we're not following the parts matrix that we've put in play. Existing quantity means we're risking all of the profitability in the labor matrix. Now, if those are the two things we're after, we could sit down with the individual service writers and have a constructive, a positive conversation. Instead of sitting down saying, look, I see your name on here a lot, what's going on? We can sit down and show them, here's the change that occurred. Why did it happen? Do I need to write a new pricing rule? So as we covered pricing profiles and rule writing, this is where we're going to be able to find out how are our standard operating procedures working. And we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. In this video and in this whole series of videos, not once will you hear us tell you how to run your business. That's your employee handbook and your culture at your shop. That's your decision. What we're talking about here in the SOP video is don't touch the price, don't change the quantity, and if you have to give a discount, let's make sure it's trackable. Those are three easy things a service writer can follow. But here's where we find out if they're actually doing it, and sometimes they need to see it. They need to see when a change is made and then make a concerted effort not to. Here's a great example. We have a flush labor here that was $90.16, and we lowered it to $80. Now, was under $10, was $9.84 absolutely necessary? That's a great discussion to have. You can also take advantage of the F5 shortcut on your keyboard to go do a little field level recon with that. Again, a positive approach, a constructive method is going to complement the daily watch and the weekly watch, especially in the beginnings of deploying this new process in your shop. At the end of the day, if you begin with the end in mind, the shop's going to be profitable, it's going to be productive, people are smiling, and at the end of the day, as an owner, you have profitability that you can leverage to your advantage rather than be looking at single-digit net and having sweat pile up on your brow. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.